So now I'd like to share another really interesting combination that happened at the recent tournament. In this position is black to move, um, and basically it's clear that there's something happening with the white's back rank, and this pawn and this knight, they're all preventing the white king from going up. So all black has to do is try to give some check on the back rank, but that's not that easy because, well, white's guarding it. So and also this knight is hanging, and it's not clear how black could retreat with this knight and exploit it to his advantage. So say if he could just go to d3, that wouldn't really do much, doesn't create any threats. So black finds an interesting first idea, which is knight to e4. That hits the rook. So now if you know, if this capture occurs, then the rook is taken, so that's no good. Similarly, if this capture happens, then there's checkmate. So after knight e4, both knights are hanging, and white has to do something about it, because also black has threats. So the rook went away to what seemed like a very natural square. Go to c1, protect the bishop, protect the back rank. But black continues with the assault, so now he attacks the bishop, and now it turns out the bishop doesn't really have a terribly good square to go to, because now the bishop also has to guard against knight e2 check. And so the bishop has to go to d1, right, just so that it keeps guarding e2. And black continues with the assault. So he goes knight to d3. The knights are just really tearing apart the white position. So now the rook has to go, and the rook goes to c7. And now black continues to create threats. Now the new threat is, I think, to come to f3 and basically to give checkmate that way. So white moves bishop to e2. One more knight move. And after this, the king now is trapped in the corner, and he has to guard h2 pawn, because if the h2 pawn falls, then the black h3 pawn will become very strong. But now the king is trapped even further, so black continues to attack with his knights, and the knights are just really tearing white into pieces. Basically, the bishop has to go. He goes to f1. But now the back rank is kind of vulnerable again. So now the last move of the black knight that really ends the game is also quite impressive, because he goes to b5, and all this is just to open up the d file with tempo. And now if he takes, then rook d1, and after king g1 there's check, and there's checkmate, and there's really no defense, because the rook is hanging and the knight is hanging, so white really has to take. And of course if here he takes with the bishop, well, that's also checkmate. So it's a pretty interesting game, because for the past 7 moves, black just keeps playing with his knights, and there's nothing white can do, because no matter where he goes, the back rank problems and the black knights are just chasing him into the corner. So it's a pretty nice game. I thought I'd share it.